Hello, my beautiful people. I haven't seen you in a couple of days because Poppy's been sick. No, I didn't get the COVID. I don't know. Long about Monday, I started feeling cruddy, and I had already had a doctor's appointment scheduled. So I go to my doctor, and my doctor's like, and he makes me take the COVID test, and it came back negative, and everything's good. But I did have a rip-roaring sinus infection, if that makes you feel any better. So I've been on antibiotics. I still got the schnoz and the cough and all of that fun stuff that goes along with it. I haven't cooked in about 6 days, and it's making me a little antsy. So today is Christmas Eve. Santa is coming tonight. I cannot wait. I am so excited. Already got the goodies planned out that I'm gonna make, and I'm making them today because I've been sick all week. So I have cookies of a couple of different kinds. I'm gonna make some candied sugared pecans, but this video I'm doing Southern Divinity. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that Divinity is an easy recipe. It's not that it's complicated. It's just there's a lot of things that play into it, like how humid is the air. What is the temperature like, how it will set up. That makes a big difference in how you do when you make Divinity. And of course, being Christmas, I don't have a lot of choice. We have to go with it. But we're gonna do our best. If it comes together, this will be a video on YouTube. And if it fails, guess what? You'll never know, because I won't post it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we'll come right back in a minute. I'll jump in and show you some ingredients, and I'll show you exactly how we put together Christmas Divinity, and it's amazing. I don't think I'm gonna color it this year. Sometimes I use like a food color, make it green, make it red. I don't know about all that. If I can dig some food coloring out, maybe we'll do that. But anyway, we'll look for some ingredients momentarily. Thank you for stopping in. We are so glad you are here, and we'll be right back. All right, so the first thing that I really want to reiterate with regards to making Divinity, equipment is absolutely essential. The things that you're going to need, you need a good mixer. It does not have to be, the top of the line, but you definitely need a good stand mixer that's going to run a good 10 to 15 minutes whenever it's time to whip up the Divinity. And it needs to have a powerful enough motor to do that. So you do need a stand mixer. You need a good saucepan that you can heat up the contents. And then you need a candy thermometer. And I can't say this strongly enough. You need a good candy thermometer that works so you know exactly what temperature your Divinity comes to as you're cooking it. Now, as far as the ingredients for the Divinity, super simple. It is water. In this particular cup measure, I have 2 egg whites that I'm leaving out so that they get to room temperature. You have, I think, 2 1/4 cups of sugar. I think you have a 1/2 cup of corn syrup. We do about a 1/2 cup of pecans. We do, I think it's a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm not sure. I'll reiterate that once we're in the recipe, and I'll let you know exactly what it is. I'm not looking at the recipe right here in front of me. But basically, what you do is you whip up the egg whites into a wonderful stiff peak, and then we pour this candy that we've cooked on the stove into the egg whites and let them set up, and then the magic happens. It's amazing. So hopefully it's all going to come together. I always love making Christmas Divinity this time of year. It's the only time of year I make it. So I wanted to share it with you and show you exactly how it comes together. We'll be right back in just a moment. Okay, so first thing that you need, I've got 2 1/4 cups of granulated sugar in my pan. Not bad. All right, we're going to add to that a 1/2 cup of regular water. We're going to add to that about a 1/2 cup of corn syrup, light corn syrup, and we will put that in. I'm sorry I don't have my 1/2 cup measure. I'm just trying to keep from dirty an extra cup measures, so we shall put that there. Let me find a small enough spatula that it makes sense to use it. There we go. We'll spatula that out a little bit into our pot. Get all of that corn syrupy goodness in there. They all say you shouldn't be eating that, but you know what? I think the damage is already done with me, so I'm just going to go ahead with it. The one ingredient that I failed to mention was a little bit of salt. I always put salt in a dessert. I'm not kidding you there. Now, when I say little bit, I'm going to say like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Not very much at all. You definitely don't want too much. Now with Divinity, you're going to begin by warming on a medium heat. You don't want to go crazy with this, okay? So what I do is I begin to incorporate this, and it's going to be thick at first. Whenever you're first doing this, you've got a lot of corn syrup and sugar and just a little bit of water. But as the mixture melts, it'll thin up quite a bit. And it's going to actually come to just a little bit of a bubble and a boil. We're going to bring this to a temperature on the candy thermometer of 260 degrees. And when we're getting closer to that, then I will start whipping up my egg whites over there. So basically this is a long process, and so when I get closer to time, we'll jump back in and look at it again. But again, what we're doing is just warming this very slowly, stirring occasionally, and then when we get it up to that 260 degrees, we'll make sure that we have our egg whites all whipped and ready to go, and that's when the magic happens. So stay tuned. Okay, so our candy part is actually coming to a low boil. I'm going to turn my temperature back just a little bit because we definitely don't want to go crazy with this. We're over 200, but we're not quite at the softball stage yet. But basically that cloudy liquid is going to become crystal clear, and it's going to be amazing what it does. So we're going to keep cooking that and keep raising that temperature slowly. I want to pull that back just a little more while we're cooking that to softball stage. That 260 degrees is softball stage, so that's exactly what we're trying to get to, and we want to get there slowly, as slowly as we can. The trick to divinity: keep it slow. Don't go crazy with it. Let it boil, keep it slow. We're right at about 225 right now, and we're trying to get to that 260 mark. So if we wind up going over, we'll turn the heat off and let that back down and get back down to 260 before we actually make the divinity. So, but you can see how that is cooking up wonderfully. It's a beautiful, beautiful mixture. So excited, can't wait, and we'll be back when we're whipping up our egg whites. All right, so right here, meticulously clean mixing bowl and implements. You definitely don't want there to be any kind of oil residual on your mixing equipment, but we're going to begin this, and I'm definitely not going to make you listen to a mixer for 40 minutes, but we're going to start whipping this in the background, and then we'll come back when we get our peaks. So let's get started. All right, so I hope you can see in there what we have is our egg whites to a nice stiff peak. You can kind of see exactly what we're going for there. We want it to look like a cloud inside of there. We'll be back when it's time to add the candy mixture, and we shouldn't be too long. We're almost at 250 degrees on the candy, and we will show you exactly how we do this in just a moment. If you haven't done a lot of candy making, the thing about softball stage is you can actually get to softball stage without the candy thermometer if you want to actually fool with it. Basically what you would do is you would get a glass of water next to your stove, and you could actually drop just a simple drop of this syrup into that water, and if it forms a little gummy ball in that water, then that is what they call a softball stage for the candy. We are literally so close right now. We're within, I'm going to say 10 degrees of being there, just looking at my thermometer. So it's almost time to begin to add this, and when I do, I am going to have the mixer on. So hopefully you can hear me. If not, I'll do a voiceover so that you know exactly what I'm doing, and we'll just cut the volume of the mixing out. But it's absolutely vital that you see that process, because literally when we go to add this syrup into those egg whites, it has to be done in such a small little drizzle. It takes forever to get all of that syrup into the egg whites, and so that's what we're after. We're after getting all of those egg whites into that mixture so that they integrate without destroying the egg that we've got in there mixed up. So we'll start that mixer up again, and I'll start to pour, and we're just a minute away. We're about ready to do it. All right, so this is how it goes. We begin with the mixer. We'll get it started. I'll turn off the burner over here, and I'm going to show you exactly what we have to do to make this happen. I've already got stringy syrup on me right here. You want this to go in so slowly Okay. We're going to keep whipping this for about 7 to 10 minutes. And once we get it exactly where it needs to be, it'll cool down. It'll start to thicken up as we add and aerates into that mixture. And then we'll be ready to add pecans and vanilla, and it'll make up a beautiful divinity. Don't go away. Okay, I hate to make you listen to mixer noise. You're going to kind of know when it's time because the mixture will start to pull away from the sides of the bowl. It'll obviously be standing up a little better. And so we are almost to that point. I'm still going to beat it a little more, and I am going to add some green food coloring to make it sexy. Yes! Because what could be better than green divinity for the Grinch that is Poppy? And I'm going to keep letting this mix just a little more, and then we'll be about ready to dip it up. Okay, so the fun part. We're getting this divinity out of the mixer. Sorry for the noise. Now to this, oh baby, this is hot, and I don't even care. So good. When we get to this stage, I am going to put in about a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to stir it all together. And I'm going to do a half a cup of pecans because I can. And I'm eyeballing it. About a half a cup. And then we're going to get in there with a spoon and give it a stir-roo. This is absolutely magical. Now, when it's time to dip it up, I will get some parchment paper, we'll line it out on the counter, and I will use 2 spoons to kind of dip this out and do what we need to do. But this is our divinity. And let me just tell you, y'all, it's good. I can promise you. So, anyway, we will be right back momentarily. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so we have our divinity, and what I'm going to do is, I'm not being cute with it. You can do all swirly cues and stuff like that. I am not getting into all that business. I don't have time. This pretty green divinity will have to be cute enough. And I am going to dip it out into bloops onto my parchment, and then we let this sit while it sets up. This doesn't take a whole lot of time. I think the trick is just making sure that you have it the right temperature when you're doing your syrup. You make sure you have clean implements. You make sure you have a strong mixer, and then whipping it up. I know a lot of people are afraid of making divinity, and I don't know why. It's pretty. I'm not doing all that swirly cue stuff that some people do, and some people do all that. Mine looks more like, well, dare I say it, Grinch turds. But that's okay, because y'all, this is going to be so delicious when it eats up. So I don't even know if we'll have time to do a taste at the end of it, but we're sure going to try. So I'm literally just putting these out, and you see how well that's standing up? That is going to cool so nicely whenever it's time. And you know, like, I didn't even get my my food coloring mixed in there super good. It doesn't even matter. It looks so cute. Even swirly with some dark green and some light green, some white places for that matter. I enjoy it the way it is. So, and that little bit, just a little bit of sugar, a little bit of corn syrup, and a little bit of water and salt, and seriously, this is enough divinity for the whole family on my side. Plus, my daughter will take some to her in-law side. Plenty of good candy for everybody. This is what old Christmas reminds me of. I'm sorry, I'm making a huge mess here. And again, I'm still kind of puny, so y'all have to forgive Poppy for not being on his game. But basically, this is what we're doing. We're just blooping it out on some parchment, giving it plenty of time to cool, and this will be absolutely beautiful on a plate. I don't know if I'm going to have time to record my candied pecans this year or not. Maybe I'll do that towards New Year's. Who knows for you all, but I love my candied pecans as well. I do know I have to clean all of this up before we can do that. And boy, I didn't leave a lot of space for the rest of this divinity. This little recipe makes a huge amount of divinity. So fun. You got some little pieces, some big pieces, and a lot of fun here, but I still have quite a bit in this bowl. My goodness. So much. You just don't want them touching one another, so I'm going to try to work it in between so that we can get it going. But anyway, we'll come back in a little bit when everything is all nice and cooled down, and we'll give it a taste, and I'll let you know what I think of Poppy's Christmas Divinity. So anyway, we will talk at you in a little bit. Poppy lives in Florida, and it is humid here, and this stuff don't like to set up in Florida. I'm just going to tell you. So I make it thick. Oh, y'all, there's something about Christmas Divinity. It's like I can close my eyes and I'm at my grandma's house, like just like that. You can do that same recipe without the food coloring. You can add a little bit of the pecans in and mix it up, and then roll it into a log. I don't know if you remember Stuckey's, but they used to sell the pecan logs, and it was divinity rolled into pecans. You can do that as well. So a lot of fun stuff you can do with this recipe. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will take a moment to click the like and the subscribe and be a part of the Pop's Place community. We're having so much fun making these videos and spending time together. I'm just an old grandpa that loves to cook. I love to cook for my people, make my people happy, and this being Christmas, it's just a great time to cook for everybody. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, that you'll make Pop's Place a part of your day, that you'll come back, you'll tell your friends and share the link. I was planning on playing the piano some for Christmas, and who knows, maybe I'll do that tonight once I get home for the evening. I'll play some piano while the kids are wrapping gifts, who knows, and maybe we'll put another video on here later tonight. But I do hope that you'll come back and that you'll just keep on liking, keep on living, keep on enjoying. And I hope that you have a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate from your heart. I hope it's your best one yet. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.